When things start to go wrong, you fall back into the patterns that you've trusted, even if they're not the best thing for your well-being. I have not figured out this Rubik's Cube, but I have to accept what I'll have to endure to achieve what I'm training for. Everyone comes up to me asking like, how you feeling? How's the chest? How's the rib? I want to win the damn thing. That's why I keep showing up. That's why I train. It matters to podium, and it matters to do well. And it's been a while since I've done that. This year had 9 months of uninterrupted training, which allowed me to stack those hours and weeks and build the fitness necessary to break 20 hours at UTMB. You want to prove to other people, remind myself that I can go to that place, do something difficult, solving a problem that has eluded me, kind of put my hand on the stove and be okay. Clearly, I have not solved it. Like, I'm pretty shitty at UTMB, but I've at least tasted success, so I know it's possible.
In 2017, when he was behind Francois and Killian, he did really well. Like, he didn't fade.
The day that we all went to Col de Balme and then Triant and then back to the car, when Ida and I were descending about 2 kilometers from the end, I just uncaught my toe and Superman forward and landed on my rib cage right on a rock. It didn't knock the wind out of me, but it was one of those really hard impacts where you're like, oh, that was rough, you know, like that did something. Later that day, it just started becoming more achy and kind of difficult to take breaths. It got better by 2 days later, which I was like, dodged a bullet. Like that was close. I felt like I had fractured a rib.
Looks like one of those super bikes.
If you want something really bad, he will get it. He's very persistent, but when you expect something more and you fall short of your goals, it's hard to watch people go through that. So this place has great memories. They're just from a lot of years back.
Whoa, almost elevated. Whoa.
You see that? This year has shown me that I want to be doing this, and my body is capable as ever of doing it. I just need to be selective on where I choose to burn that match. When I'm counted out, yeah, it's nice to go a little deeper and, like, you know, wave the middle finger to people that, you know, might not believe. Earlier in my career, I had a lot of success when it was like, I'm really trying to prove myself, and maybe I've just been, you know, riding my own coattails for too long, and it's time to, like, you know, light that fire and be like, no, like, if you want it, you really need to commit. There's some orange and red in there, a little green. Lindsay said dark green. That's kind of almost dark green. Everyone comes up to me asking like, how you feeling? How's the chest? How's the rib? Fernando's cued to ask me about fueling, ask me about position, ask me about legs. This is off limits.
Right now, it's all here. Like, if you're done, it's all in the head.
Yeah.
I helped him for the first time in 2017, I think. Pasta sounds good, or like,
yeah, pasta.
I had run the race. It was a lot about find his forever pace and stay on the forever pace. You know, the winners are 20 hours, and that is long. Having a pace that you know you can do forever is very important, because that allows you to know that you will finish. If you end up passing above your forever pace or going harder, then doing 20 hours is going to be harder.
11:15 to 11:30 per mile, the average, is doable.
I'm making several waves. I know the mission is same. I made this splash, now all of my passes last like running a race with Usain. I keep it coming like this is a buffet. Even if I'm stumbling, I'm in the grave. Never gon' fumble it. I get the bag and I run with it, gunning it. Hurry with the legs, all about finesse. I am not impressed. I don't need a rest coming in with less than you see the flags. Elohim.
You're only as good as your last race. It matters to podium, it matters to do well, and it's been a while since I've done that. But I think this last block, really like 9 months of uninterrupted, really good quality training, that gave me hope that age doesn't matter.
He doesn't want to be forgotten, and he wants to finish his career with good races. I don't think he wants to go out having years of poor racing.
You want to prove to other people that like you belong, that like you're worth something. Proving to myself that I still am able to set out and do something difficult that I think I'm capable of, and is solving a problem that has eluded me. Remind myself that I can go to that place. And that's why I keep showing up, that's why I train. I feel like I keep getting those puzzle pieces like almost in the right spot, and then like someone bumps my table and like knocks it all around, and I'm just gonna keep plugging away till finally like that picture comes into focus. I want to win the damn thing.
He's been training so well now to finally be like competitive in the top again.
In the last month, I've had some of the most climbing I've ever had, and that's where my, going up has felt stronger. So those things give me confidence that the body's ready. And I did my final long run on Saturday. When I was just like in that zone where you're thinking about like, oh yeah, this is what the race is gonna feel like, visualizing. It's like, okay, I'm coming up on mile 80, feeling great, super confident. And then similar, like 3K from Valersine, I was coming down the steep switchbacks, kind of the rooty, rocky trail. And I was avoiding a hiker coming up the hill. I stepped on a rock that kind of just slid. Feet swing out in front of you, and like, oh crap, and caught myself with my hands behind my back. So like I didn't like hit my tailbone, but my arms took the full blunt on that same side that I had just had the rib impact. That night I couldn't sleep. I couldn't bear weight through my hand, and then over the last 10 days it's just been trying to calm it down, but running and taking breaths and coughing has been painful.
Yes, stupid accident happens, and first it's like, oh, it's plenty of time to heal up, and then like the days just goes on and it doesn't really get better. Yeah, I feel really sad for him. I mean, he's been training so well now, like probably like almost a whole year, like, because last year it was, I mean, really he was injured half of the summer. He just had a few good weeks training here, and it was too short time. And in his, of course, he needs to try, because this race he's been training for, and maybe it will work.
He runs really well when he's really angry, when he feels like he needs to prove something, so he has a lot to prove. It's probably not good to say, but he has a lot to prove just because he has had some rough years. So I think if anything fuels him, that does. Not having an elite bib fuels him. But also your body can only do what your body can do, so.
How do you make then the decision, good or bad, continue or dinner?
I'm not worried about long-term issues. It's gonna be if I can endure the pain on the day and work through it. Remind myself, like, if I were pinned in rockfall and I needed to get out, like, would I cut my arm off or would I sit there and die?
That's a very important part, you know, not necessarily leading, but be with the front and assess his ability as he's running with the lead. He needs to manage the pain. You don't hurt more, it just hurts. So if it's not hurting more, just acknowledge it, but shouldn't stop you. You know, and that's true for blisters, chafing. I mean, really, unless it's something that doesn't allow you to keep going. We're gonna go to the contamine. It's very important because that's when they go through the night. It's the last time you see them before Courmayeur, so it's like a 6-hour-ish without seeing their crew. We want to make sure that he has enough fuel, enough electrolytes to go through the night, enough caffeine as well. It's also a good place where you get a measurement of how is he doing against the competition. You know, is he feeling great after 2.5 hours of running?
That morning of the race, I think I bothered everyone in the house because I had so much energy. I was like, yeah, it's race day, let's go. And whoever was still sleeping, like, definitely I was their rooster. We knew the cards we were working with, and it was more a question of like, okay, can we get the body ready enough to try? And then the second question was, should I even try? My legs really just felt like they were ready to like bounce out of there. And so I felt that excited energy. Like, told the crew, let's not talk about it, we're gonna do it. And that was the best I'd felt in 2 weeks, so I just chose to focus on that. I was excited. Like, I was very just kind of like focused on the task ahead. I was committed to that, like, okay, if I'm pinned under a rock and I have to survive, I'm gonna cut my arm off. Like, I'm not backing out on this. We left Le Chapieux. I was leading out Thomas Germain, 50K in, Le Chapieux, up this road climb. And then as we got back on the trail, climbing up to Côte de Lausanne, that's where I started having some problems. I was peeing while running and just looking down at the headlamp, and it's very evident that it's not, you know, Coca-Cola color, like, and then you can kind of like backdrop it with your hand and realize, oh, at that point it became more like, okay, over the next 2 hours, decided that this is not going to be my day.
He was like really giving a good effort and was in the top for the time he ran the race. At least he got to see that, like, I have the fitness, I can be back in top, and he was back there. But I hope that will at least bring him a little bit confidence and also like He said it's not wasted, all that good training. It will come out in another race instead.
If I rewind a couple years, the combination of just like self-doubt and a failing body really had me on the ropes. Considering, do I have it left? Is it possible? Do I want to do this? Do I want to suffer anymore? And that was the first time in my life I've ever thought about like, okay, maybe I have a sunset year in my career as an athlete. Like I always knew it would kind of start to crest, but I felt like maybe it was the time. This year is like proven to me that that's not the case. I felt more confident with my training, enjoyed the training, and laid down probably more impressive training than I have in the past. Like, I think recognizing that sitting in that discomfort is important and not just numbing it. Like, numbing it is almost not doing it justice of like, that you cared. And as shitty as it is to sit in the discomfort, like you have to, because I think that just shows that it's something worth continue to chase. But it sucks to be shitty at your job. Just feeling like a failure, feeling like you let everyone down, including yourself. I'm still handling it. I think I'm still in that state of, I knew what I was capable of, and it didn't happen, and I just have to sit with the fact that I lost.